Okay, so we're recording again now. So thank you very much for joining me today. And I'm Nikki Duffy from choosingfortoday.com. And this is an introduction to the 60 Days to Change Your Money Mindset course that I'm going to be starting very soon. Hi, thanks for joining me live.
I'm back.
Yes, so a little introduction to me is I have done lots of trauma and drama with money and finances, and I've had highs with money, and I've had lows with money, and I nearly lost our well, I did my financial management and craziness, basically my unwillingness to look at finances meant that we lost our family home with my my two kids and my husband. We were homeless, and that was in 2011, and so from there I sort of started to create more, but it was a very, very painful, slow, low journey. I was still doing a lot of trauma and drama with it. So it's only really that last year, it's only really been about a year where I've really started to choose dynamically more, choose more for my life, choose more for money, because often when we want to do more stuff in life, because life's not just about money, and yet when we want to do more stuff in life, money can come in very handy to make it easier and faster for us to do the stuff we want to do. And whether that's stuff we want to do for ourselves, like traveling around the world, or going to theatre, or wearing nice clothes, or whatever it is we want to do, whether it's charitable work, maybe we want to volunteer for places. And one of the things I'd love to do is go on a voluntary work as a volunteer in a elephant sanctuary somewhere in the world. So that's one of my longer term targets. And that stuff, it takes money, and maybe it doesn't as well. So I'm going to talk as well about ways of creating stuff without just getting the money. Sometimes stuff can show up for us with ease, like maybe things that we want show up as money or as things as well. So so why I chose 60 days is because I am choosing dynamically. In just over 60 days, there's a access class I want to do in Langkawi in Malaysia, which is a 7-day class. It's in a luxury resort, and it requires a substantial, what to me is a substantial sum of money. So I thought it would be great fun to do a 60-day to change your money mindset, and do it as a group, because I've got a big target, and it will be great to work together towards whatever targets you have. So my first question would be, what are your 3 biggest issues with money? What are your 3, right now, when you think about money and you think about money is, if you think about the 3 biggest problems you see that you have with money, what would those 3 problems be? And so if you're watching the recording, then just make a note of them now, just write them down, and write them down, and write down with us on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being, it don't bother you at all, and 10 being like, they're driving you mad and you can't sleep at night and you feel sick all the time, and all that kind of thing. So where on the scale of 0 to 10 are you with that money problem? How much of it is a problem to you? So I don't know if either of you are up for some interaction and sharing, either one or all 3 of your biggest money problems that you see as money problems right now? Would you be happy to share at all, Mary? And it's okay if you don't.
What are you doing with the recording?
Yes, we are recording. Yeah. So if you're not happy to share, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Just don't know where it's going to go. Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose for me, past expenditures with the general way of putting things, that's one. Yeah.
Yes. So past expenditures and past expenditures, people who aren't into access, past expenditures are a way of saying debts that we've created in the past, because debt sounds so much like death and it's got so like horrible connotations. Calling it past expenditures is a more forward-thinking way of approaching it. Yes. So me too. Past expenditures.
Current living expenses.
Right, so current living expenses, stuff like, how the hell am I going to pay this bill that comes in?
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Current living expenses. Okay. And so,
what's the question is, what are your 3 main problems, is it?
Yes.
Creating. I think the other thing is creating. Is putting in sometimes I'm putting in the energy that isn't creating. I'm not doing creative energy with it. I'm doing constrictive energy with money and all that. I'm like doing it backwards, or I don't know. Not making myself wrong, but I see people have I see this bit now that people are doing about being grateful for everything. I could do that a lot more. I'm seeing what people are doing. And so it's like the energy I'm doing to create what I'm getting. That's the problem. That's the problem in general sense, okay?
Okay, cool. So if you were to give them a number on a scale of 0 to 10 for your past expenditures, when you think about that as past expenditures, 0 to 10, how would you rate that?
100.
Sorry, it's not a great connection.
I don't go there.
I'm really sorry, Mary. We can't. It's going very robotic. I know you're frozen. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So just if you're watching at home later, then just make a note of yourself. So if you were to rate your top 3, what you see as money problems right now, would it be an 8? Would it be a 7? Would it be a 9? Where would you rate it? Would it be off the charts 12? Just make a note of that. And sorry, we've got a question from Sarah. Okay. So Sarah's saying definitely worrying about. Sarah, would you like to let me unmute you? Would you like to say your question, Sarah, or would you rather I read it out?
You can read it. I don't mind either.
Oh, it'd be great if you would say it.
Okay, so I'm due to go on maternity leave end of April, beginning of May, and we're set to lose a lot of money. So obviously that at the moment is quite worrying.
Right, so maternity leave coming up, worrying, and that will mean losing out on money, and that's quite a worry. So where on the scale of 0 to 10 is that for you at the moment, Sarah?
There's a 9 at the moment. We've been looking
yes.
at after the baby's here, and obviously going back to work, and actually all of my current wages would pay for childcare. So it's kind of, I'm at that balance. Do I not work? Do I go to work? So at the moment, very worrying.
Right. Yes. And is this your first child, Sarah?
No, third.
Okay. And are the others are they school age? Do they require childcare as well, or?
No, so my son is nearly 18 and
Okay.
my daughter's 10.
Your
So,
daughter's 10?
They're just out of that age. Obviously, Harry's pretty much left home, but my daughter, she's obviously walking to school on her own and all sorts. So haven't had to worry about childcare for a long time with her.
Great. Okay. Okay. So at the moment it's a 9. And did you have another 2 you'd like to share with us, Sarah?
I don't know. Did I? No. To be honest, obviously trying to keep up with your current goings and stuff as well at the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Cost of living seems to be rising, and obviously we're going to have another person to feed in the house, to look after in the house soon. So obviously that's a worry.
Yes. And when you think about that now, what number would you give it on a scale of 0 to 10?
Well, obviously the impending maternity leave is more worrying at the moment. So, but I'd put that probably on about a 6 or 7 at the moment. But that will rise obviously once baby's here.
Okay. And is there any others that you've got at the moment, Sarah, or are they that like your top 2 for the time?
They're my top 2. I mean, we've managed to get hold of sort of get a real good hold on our previous, what are you calling it? They're not debts, they are
past expenditures. Yes.
Past expenditures, yeah. We've managed to get a real good hold on those. So at the moment that's not worrying. Whether that changes, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, great. And I'd just like to acknowledge you for being aware that, you have got a good hold on that, on the past expenditures. And because you've created that, when you acknowledge what you've already created, it expands a space for you to be able to create more. It's like, yeah, I've done that. And did your past expenditure, before you got a hold of it, did your past expenditures used to be big worry for you?
Oh, absolutely. Those letters coming through the door and those telephone calls were quite worrying at one point.
Yes, so good for you. Yeah, I'd like to acknowledge you for changing that situation.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And hi, Mary. Great to have you back. Are you able to talk again and tell us what your numbers are for your past expenditure and your other things?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes. That's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay. So I wrote a 10 plus for the past expenditures, 9 for the current expenditure, current what you call current living expenses.
Yes.
And then my energy that I'm creating all this, 45. Well.
Okay, cool. All right. So and it's great that you're laughing about it as well, Mary. And
Thank you.
So let's start by just doing a simple expansion exercise. So if you just get a sense of where the edges of you are, that they're outside your body, just get a sense of that. And now just expand out beyond the 8 corners of the room. Expand out beyond the building you're in, beyond the location you're in, beyond the county you're in, beyond the country you're in, beyond the world. Expand out, keep expanding out in every direction, up, down, front, back, side to side, expand out to the stars, the sea, the seas, the galaxies, beyond. And breathe. And just from that expanded space, just get a sense. That's it. And now from that expanded space, if you could just turn back and look at that one biggest money problem from that expanded space. As you breathe now, just look at it and just look at how small it seems from the expanded space that you are. That's right. And just realize that from a different perspective, things can be differently. And now there's a tool which, if you're familiar with Access Consciousness, you'll be familiar with, and it's interesting point of view. I have that point of view. So from this expanded space, as you think about your number one money problem, that's the highest scoring out of all the ones you've done, 9 above, off the chart, 45, whatever it is, from this expanded space, as you think of that, just think to yourself, interesting point of view. And if you're in a place that you can say it out loud with me, then great, say it out loud. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And then breathe. Think of it again. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And breathe again. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And as you now breathe again and think of that problem that you were thinking of, and you think, what number would you give it now? Has that number changed at all? What number would it be now? And there's no right or wrong answer. So just get a sense.
I think top one's gone down to a 7.
Great, Sarah. So it's gone from a 9 down to a 7, just in that short moment.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yep. Well done. And how about you, Mary? Has there been any change on your 45?
Yeah, well, I was actually breathing into the one about the 10 plus, so it's gone to just 10, not 10 plus 10.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Thank you.
So we've done that exercise to show that in just those few less than a minute, how you can change your energy on something, and you can just expand out and go to interesting point of view on it. And these tools, they make, you know, when we are in the place of like, oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do, and this other things come up and this other bills come in, and I thought I could rely on this money and now I've realized I can't. Breathe, expand out, interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Breathe again. And even if you can just do that once, and even if it's only in your head momentarily, it can be a valuable tool, and I found it so valuable, and it's changed things immensely for me, and it's taken me out of the trauma and drama of like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, no, I can't sleep and all that kind of thing, to being able to breathe. And it's like, okay, well, what can we do? What will work here? And just being in a space where other possibilities can present themselves instead of the closed and horrible space of just, it creates more space and more possibilities. So that's one of the core tools I wanted to share with you. It's very simple, and even if you're like, oh God, that's too simple, that's not going to fix my finances, that's not going to change things, that's not going to bring me any money. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And breathe. And what else is possible with this, using this tool? Okay, so thanks for playing along with me with that tool, and with looking at you know, your top 3 money things. So now I wanted to, so we've done space, we've done that's being space, that's expanding out, that's being space. So what I've found when I'm in a trauma situation with money, or, you know, fear situation, or like, then just going to space, just thinking space can be a quick way to create more space. Because sometimes, you know, when we're in that contracted thinking, oh, expand out, interesting point of view, that's just too much, that can be just too much. So if you just think space, and then when you get a chance to go over and use the tools, then use the tools, use the interesting point of view. but if you, when you're in the moment, if all you can do is space, then even that is is a change, a way of changing that situation in the moment. And okay, so have you got any questions about that, either of you?
No, it's good, thank you.
But thank you. I think it's definitely one I'm going to use.
Good stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Breathing in the moment, isn't it? It's that. It's not as bad as you think in that moment.
Yes, yeah, and without
And
making. Sorry, Sarah?
And it
Oh, I missed the last of that.
No, that wasn't me. Sorry, darling.
it was me. I was going to say, like, it changes the energy of it,
Yes.
because it's like it's so then I'm not doing the destructive energy. If I'm doing that, it's like changing the energy. That's the third thing that I was talking about. So that would take it down from the 45.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I see a message there from Catherine. Maybe she's trying to get on or something.
Ah, okay.
Oh no, she's on another call. Will there be a replay? Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so so also another thing I wanted to do is to acknowledge ourselves for where we are right now, because we are amazing creators of magnitude, and just like Sarah created her way out of like with the debt, with the past expenditures, to a place where she's like, no, I'm good with that now, that's under control now. That's an amazing creation. And also the debt and so I mean, when I was in a place of, and I'm still in a large place of debt, I'm not going to pretend I'm, you know, multimillionaire and I've got everything sorted. I haven't. And I just feel so, like Sarah saying about, you know, she's got out of the fear with the debt and that horrible situation. I've moved forward from that as well, and I'm creating beyond that. So when I was losing my home, I remember we had to go back to court again. The mortgage company were taking us to court, and the court case was going to be about what date we had to get out of the house, and when the bailiffs, what date we had until the bailiffs were going to come round and turf us out of our family home. And that's what the court hearing was about. And we were going to like plead for another 30 days so that we could blah blah. And this morning we had to go to court. We realised that we'd lost our home and we had to move out, and we didn't, you know, there was no point in trying to cling on to our home any longer, and that we wouldn't have anywhere to live, and we'd be surfing on, you know, people's furniture, you know, we'd be sofa surfing on friends and family's floors and sofas. And we had 2 cats, and we knew that we wouldn't be able to take them with us. So that morning, as we were preparing to get the bus, because we'd, you know, both our cars had been taken by the bailiffs, we had to put our 2 cats in their travel cases to be picked up by the RSPCA while we were at the court. A neighbour was going to let the RSPCA take our cats because we couldn't look after them anymore. And, you know, in that was just such a low moment for us and for me, because it was, anyway, and on the bus, on the hour-long bus to the court case, about, you know, I spoke with my husband, and we were talking about it, and we realised that we'd created that situation, and no matter what the situation was, we knew we would always be safe, and we would always have places that we could sleep, even if it was on people's floor, that we would be safe and we would be dry. And we also acknowledged ourselves for what an amazing creation. I mean, my God, that took an awful lot to create ourselves to that situation. You know, it took years to get us to that point. And when we acknowledged that we had created that, it also gave us the freedom to acknowledge ourselves as amazing creators. And what else can we create? Now we acknowledge what we can create that doesn't work for us. What can we create that does work for us? And from that point, so acknowledging, even if what you've created right now is not fun for you and it's not working for you and it's giving you sleepless nights and no fun at all, acknowledge yourself for being an amazing creator, for having created that. And the fact that you've created that means that once you acknowledge it, you can create beyond that. And what can you create that could be more fun for you? Hi, Poppy, thanks for joining us. What could you create that could be so much more fun for you? And that can be a powerful tool. So if either of you got any questions about that, or any comments, if it brings up like, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't be crazy. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, a very similar experience actually. It was that it's almost acknowledging that you've got that, and that actually you can't bury your head in the sand. It's going to happen regardless. So you've got to take that control. You've got to take control back over what happens here, and then once you own that control, that's quite empowering in itself, isn't it? It's that knowing that I'm now in control.
Brilliant. And I love the words you used there, Sarah. Once you own that control, yes, very empowering. Yeah.
And then that stops those phone calls, because you've taken control and you've said, this is what we're going to do, this is within my reach, this is where we are. And that was, putting those phone down and going, oh, there's another one sorted, on to the next one, and it was quite uplifting. You're still in the same amount of debt, you've not done anything different, but it's like, you've taken control of it, you've got that power.
Nice, beautiful example. I like that, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think I'm starting to acknowledge my part in creating it,
yes,
which is good. I'm starting to be aware of my part of energetically creating it.
Yes, and it's good. Without making yourself wrong as well.
Yeah,
Because when you say, right, I am where I am, and and now what else is possible, without being like, oh my God, I am where I am because I'm such a terrible person. No. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And breathe. And yeah. So we've just got a few more minutes now. Are there any other questions or comments that any of you would like to make?
Yeah, it's like I've kind of brought myself to the edge again, and things are starting to turn. I started asking questions and made a phone call, and so something else is happening. But it's like, I've been here so many times. How do I stop? It's like, going around and around this, or maybe I'm making progress, but it feels like financially it's the same loop.
Right.
Or maybe, so it's like I go to the edge and then I get myself out of it. But what would it take to just be at a different level? Not be in the,
So, Truth Mary, do you do that because it's exciting for you? Because there's a drama and excitement with getting to the edge and then having to do something about it.
No, I don't like it at all.
So who does that belong to, Mary? Having to get yourself to the edge?
Maybe it's a family thing. It's like, it's definitely unawareness. It's like, sometimes if I get myself organized a bit and I have money, I think like I'm a millionaire, and then I'll blow it and I'll bring myself back down. That kind of a way. It's like aware. There's a lot of strands. To be taken care of, kind of, or to be, to be looked at.
Okay, so there's a lot we could do with that, and I'd like to start with whose lies and what lies am I using to create this edge, getting to the edge of finances that I'm choosing, and then allowing yourself to let that go. So is that a question that you would be willing to ask of yourself?
Yes.
Over and over and over again?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you ask that now again, whose lies and what lies am I using to create this edge of finances that I'm choosing? And then breathe, let go. Do you feel any energy shift a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like what's happened is, it's like, can you hear me?
Yes.
Like we do this save 10% of our income.
Yes.
So I've done that, and now I've taken it again. I've raided it again.
Right.
And I'm like, here we go again. I get it to a certain point.
Yes.
And I was like, what would it take to not, and I said this in August, what would it take to not raid my 10% again? So I haven't touched it since August, and now boom, I created whatever I created, and boom. So, I'm creating something else now, and so I might refill it. I'd love to do that, but it's like...
Okay, cool. And what if you didn't make yourself wrong for that? Now, I'm acutely aware that Zoom might kick us off any minute now. So rather than just like abruptly being kicked off, I'd like to round up with a quick... so what I wanted to do was the first 5 days offer that for free to anyone who wanted to give me their email, and I could email them some of the tools and processes that will be helpful, and to reconvene back here on Zoom on Tuesday evening. I think it's Tuesday anyway, this Tuesday coming, and if you could commit to, if it would be fun for you to commit to doing interesting point of view, I have that point of view, breathing and doing it from a space of space, and also the whose lies am I using to create this, whatever the situation is, situation with money that I'm choosing, or if Mary's thing works for you as well. So whose lies and what lies am I using to create this nightmare with money I'm choosing? And then breathe and let that go as well. So if you do that, use both of those repeatedly for the next 5 days, and give me feedback about that when we reconvene on Tuesday.
Okay. Tuesday, I'm actually doing a class. How much are you willing? A money class. Much you willing to receive?
Oh, nice one. Okay. Cool.
So, what time are you thinking of reconvening? The same time, 8, is it?
Yeah, 8 o'clock Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my class is 7 to 9, so I'll get the replay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right then. Okay.
Thank you, Nikki.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you all for joining me live, and thank you for everyone watching the replay as well.
Yeah, thanks, Nikki.
If you'd like to play along, please message me your email, and I will send you out probably not daily emails, because I'm going to be away. I'm going away for the weekend, going to Belgium. Okay, cool. So it'll probably be every couple of days or so until Tuesday evening.
Perfect. Thank you.
So thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
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 Bye.